Carbohydrates have suddenly become the food people are afraid of, but humans have been eating them for nearly 12,000 years. So what changed? Our food or our understanding? Today, let's look at why carbs still belong on our plate and how much we actually need. Last time, we talked about protein, the building blocks of the body, muscles, skin, hormones, enzymes. Today, we add another important piece, carbohydrates. I will be honest, it makes me a little sad when I see people completely avoiding carbohydrates. When I was growing up, my mom often reminded me, eat your food with bread. At that time, it just felt like tradition. Now I realize meals were naturally balanced, protein, vegetables, and something to give energy. Sometimes traditional meals understood balance long before we started labeling nutrients. Rice, wheat, and legumes have been cultivated for thousands of years. From rice in China to wheat in Middle East and lentils across early farming cultures, these foods have been part of human meals for nearly 10,000 years. When humans began farming instead of only hunting and gathering, carbohydrates became a central part of everyday meals, not as excess, but as fuel. So, why do we actually need carbohydrates? Let me break it down in 3 simple ways. Number 1, your brain runs on carbs. Your brain uses glucose, which comes from carbohydrates, as its main energy source. It cannot store energy for long, so it needs a steady supply. Without enough carbs, people often feel foggy and tired, irritable, and craving sugar later. Number 2, carbs give everyday energy. Everything you do needs energy: walking, thinking, cooking, even breathing. Carbohydrates are the quickest and easiest fuel to the body to use. Carbs are like a petrol for a car. They help you move through your day. Number 3, they protect protein. This is really very powerful. When you don't eat enough carbohydrates, your body may start using protein for energy instead of repair, meaning muscles not supported properly or in recovery worse and more fatigue. So carbs actually help protein do its job. Balance matters. If we eat mostly carbohydrates on their own, for example, just pasta or crisps, energy rises quickly but drops just as fast. We feel hungry again and start looking for snacks. That's why pairing carbohydrates with protein or fats helps meals last longer. On the other hand, a plate with only protein and a few salad leaves might look healthy, but often it doesn't provide enough energy. People might feel tired later and crave for sweets or snack more without understanding why. If carbohydrates are too low, the body may use protein for energy instead of repair. That means less protein is available for muscle repair, immune function, and hormones. Adding a small portion of carbohydrates helps make the meal complete. Not all carbohydrates are the same. Some carbs are more refined or fast, meaning much of the fiber has been removed during processing. These foods give energy quickly, but may not last as long. Carbs closer to their natural form, like whole grains, lentils, or potatoes, contain fiber which slows digestion and helps energy stay steadier. I once asked a colleague if he tried cooking lentils, and he smiled and said, "My family is more on the rice side." And I really like that answer. Food is tradition and comfort. We don't need to replace what we love, but we can simply expand it. Bread has a special place on my plate. My ancestors grew grain themselves, and rye bread especially makes me feel connected to that story. And when you look around the world, carbohydrates have always been part of balanced meals. Rice in Japan and Korea, pasta and bread in Italy, potatoes and whole grain breads across Europe, pita, rice and legumes in the Middle East. Not excess, just balance. How much carbs we need? The good news is we don't need large amounts. A simple guide is a cupped hand Easy to follow on busy days, and it helps keeps meals balanced with protein and vegetables, enough to fuel us without overthinking. So here's something simple you can try today. Pearl barley instead of rice, rice bread instead of white bread, lentils added to a familiar meal, potatoes in a salad, or oats for breakfast. Small changes are enough. Notice your energy. Carbs are not the enemy. They have been part of balanced meals across cultures for generations. Protein builds, fat supports, carbs fuel. Balanced meals aren't about eating less. They're about giving your body what it needs so you can show up fully for work, your family, and yourself. If this simple balanced approach speaks to you, follow Balance Plate Hub, where we build balanced meals one small step at a time. Balance Plate Hub.